one of the main things I did to bring about true change to my life, you're going to have to watch this one. Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you are all deciding to be the versions of yourselves that have exactly whatever it is that you desire. I hope you are. And if you're not, why? Just why? What sorry excuse are we using today? Choose to be the version of self that has the desire. Period. Let's not go into a long-winded intro. For some of you, that'll make you very happy. Okay. Not necessarily makes me happy, but whatever. So, if you want to work with me in any shape, form, or fashion, or something like that, I know there's a phrase out there. I always mess it up. I shouldn't affirm that. If you would like to work with me, if you want help figuring out what's going on between you and your manifestation, please feel free to email me at manifestingwithkimberly@gmail.com. All of my coaching options are in the drop box below. They're in the screens that just went by. Yes, to work with me in any way, go in the drop box below. Okay? Regular coaching is booked out a bit. Emergency coaching is always an option if you need to talk to me within a 72-hour period. It used to be 24-48. It is now 24 to 72. Okay? And the more flexible with time you are, the sooner I can get you in. Just saying. Also, if you are new here, how you doing? I'm Kimberly, and yes, I am always like this. Okay? If you can handle my sass, I would love for you to subscribe and come back and see me. I am totally obsessed with manifestation. I literally eat, breathe, sleep manifestation because I like getting what I want, and I like getting it quick. I don't like waiting for shit, and I don't like things to be hard and drawn out and friggin' boring. So, if you're like me and you want your stuff like yesterday and you want to do it easy, subscribe, come back and see me. To all of you that have joined me on my other channel, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Those numbers are going up. It just blows my damn mind. Thank you. Yeah, that's it. Enough. The ways to connect, drop box below, including the channel membership info, drop box below. So, of course, as I do when I'm wanting a zhuzh of my own, I will always pick up something from Neville or some other mystic author that I enjoyed and respected their teachings of, but it doesn't mean I follow, perfectly, because I'm not a purist. I'm an individual, and I make the rules of my reality, right? In case some of you needed that reminder, you make the rules of your reality. Okay, I don't make the rules for you. You make the rules for you. Okay, so I was reading a little Neville, and this one little paragraph stuck out to me. I'm like, oh my God, that is what I did. I have talked, if you were new here, I have shared that September of 2022 sucked tits for me. It sucked. I was in a really shite state. Okay. Felt really stuck. I panicked over that feeling of being stuck, blah, blah, blah. It literally was the whole month. And as October came around, I started changing. Things started, the whirling winds started coming about in my life in October. And man, it's been an amazing ride since then. But I was reading, and this, like I said, this paragraph stood out to me. I'm like, this is what I did. This is what I did every day when I was deciding to be new self. So let's read it. And I even notated, I did this while working out, and it manifested. So, a most effective way to embody a desire is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and then, in a relaxed and drowsy state, repeat over and over again, like a lullaby, any short phrase which implies fulfillment of your desire. Such as, thank you, thank you, thank you. As though you addressed a higher power for having given you that which you desired. And I know, listen, it's not a big deal. You've heard about getting into the wish fulfilled, blah, blah, blah before. But what I'm saying is, I have shared that I would have worded this like a affirmation / inner conversation hybrid. That is what I did. So as far as embodying your desire, that was something that I felt more drawn to as opposed to just flat out affirming or visualizing. Embodying, being my new self came naturally to me. So clearly that's the technique I choose. I'm more pulled towards. Coupling with just deciding that I am that new self. I am new self. So don't get it twisted. Don't start panicking and don't start thinking like, Kim, you always say I just have to decide. Now I got to embody shit. Just hear me out. Stop panicking. Okay? Settle down, Beavis. Settle down. When I would be exercising by choice and desire, not exercising by force, but that's a totally different video. That's when I was really telling myself, other than first thing in the morning, like, I am my new self. That's who I am now. I am the girl that's in the most loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. That's who I am. I did it. I got here. I finally got here. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for showing me. I did it. I felt like I was communicating with my higher self. And there were moments where I felt like I was communicating with, past relatives, right, who have ventured on to the next level. But dominantly, I felt like I was communicating with my own higher self, like letting her know, girl, I did it. I finally did it. I got the relationship that I have been desiring so much. I did it. I got here. Now, I had no signs of that in my 3D. Life didn't feel good every moment of September. Life felt miserable. I had no evidence in the 3D to tell me, yeah, now I have it. But I allowed myself to feel like I was her now, like I was that new self now. And I did that every damn day. Now, granted, there were days where I just wasn't in the mood. I wasn't feeling it. I was in that funk feeling. And the most I could do was just tell me I am new self. And that's okay. That's why we don't have to be perfect. But this stood out to me as, guys, it's choice. It's a decision, period. I think that sometimes when we're on this journey and we're feeling a little low or we're feeling miserable, we're feeling down, it is so easy to start getting into that victim mindset where you want to defend being in a state of consciousness where you are not having your desire, where you are seeing the 3D as negative, not working, not here yet. And we want to defend it. And we want to throw all the excuses we can think of in the wind of why we feel the way we feel and why we are right, that it hasn't worked yet. It's not working. I know you do it because I used to do it too. We want to defend that state so badly because we can't see past the state. When you're in a state, you can only see through your filtered state glasses. So if you're feeling that way right now, you can still make the decision of who you want to be. Making that decision is instant. It doesn't necessarily always feel like it's instant, but it's instant. And as you keep returning to your decision to be your new self, it will begin to feel more natural. That's the point of the repetition. It will be easier and easier for you to believe that you are your new self. Don't waste your time trying to justify your victim state. I used to do that. Don't do that. Don't be bothered with that. Own it. Be the observer of your mind in this moment. Be the observer. Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Are you feeling frustrated that things haven't manifested? Are you in fear that something won't manifest? Own it authentically and return to your decision to be new self. Return to it. Return to it. This does work, but it requires you to make the decision to allow it to work. And by allowing it to work, I mean allow the 3D to unfold. Don't judge every circumstance or condition and label it as something wrong. As Neville would say, judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. John 7:24. Well, Neville wrote the Bible quote in the book, but he wasn't the author of the Bible quote. Just saying. Just gotta keep it 100. That's what we get lost in. We get lost in logical, literal thinking as we judge our 3D. And if we don't see the full manifestation in front of us, some of us judge. We judge from the place of logical thinking. And we give in to our victim states. And then what happens? If we don't end up spiraling, we at minimum end up marinating and choosing a version of ourselves that we don't even want to be. We must have the discipline to return to our decision. Period. Not from a place of perfection, but from the place of creating a new habit as you are quantum leaping to new self. See what I'm saying? When you make the decision to be your new self, I was making the decision to be my new self every day. And I had that moment of realizing, holy shit, I really am new self. I really, really am new self. And I want to say one more thing before I end this video. If you've watched all my content in both channels, and you're in the awareness that I am in a mega decluttering, organizing my home, because, probably won't be living here forever, right? So what I found as I am doing this, and I'm going through old papers and old notebooks, old scripting journals, old agendas, I found some old agendas from like over 10 years ago. And I couldn't believe what I was reading in my journals. Now, back then, I wasn't obviously writing from the perspective of scripting for manifestation. I was journaling my life and getting it out on paper. And my God, was I a miserable girl. I didn't like life. And the things I wrote in that notebook about myself, the names I called myself, the unhappiness in my relationship at the time, I couldn't see past that because of who I was back then. And as I flipped through the years, I could see my evolvement on paper. I didn't know I was evolving, though. I didn't really realize it until I understood states of consciousness. And by then, clearly, my manifestation journey had begun. But the girl in that victim state would never have believed that her life would be what my life is right now. So if you're having one of those moments, I am telling you, you can completely allow yourself to do a total 180 in your life. But you just have to not give up on it. You just have to keep choosing your new self, your new life, your new 3D. You have to keep choosing it. And you choose it every day. That's the action you got to worry about taking, is making the conscious decision to be in your new state. We're never going to force things by action in our 3D, right? We're not going to manipulate and force, because there is no physical action you can take to force a manifestation. You're never going to do anything better than claiming who you want to be through your I amness. That's the big movement. That's the big action to take. Deciding who you want to be. And making that decision with conviction and refusing to give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Choose you every day. This is a you journey. It's a self journey. But I'm telling you, if you keep choosing new self, your 3D will reflect your dreams and desires. But only you can choose it for yourself. Only you can. I know sometimes this manifestation thingy can feel risky. It can feel scary. It's, from my perspective, not any more scary than continuing to live a dull, miserable, painful, boring, hopeless version of ourselves. Like most of us find manifestation from that state. To keep living that way unhappily is not living, it's existing. And no one deserves a life like that. We all deserve happiness, thriving, seeing the fullness of the riches of the kingdom. It's meant for us. We're meant for joy. But if you could remember that life includes ups and downs or ebbs and flows, that doesn't mean something's wrong. It means you're a human. But you're still in charge of yourself and who you want to be. There's nothing you can't be, do, and have. Nothing. Choose it. Choose new self. And on that note, I'll see you tomorrow.